I noticed one day while drinking a diet soda during lunch that under the ingredients there is a message in bold capital letters. Phenylketonuria contains phenylalanine. I was intrigued, as the curious person I am, and looked up the condition. I had never heard of phenylketonuria before, and in my random research realized it was a very interesting condition to know about and very important to test babies for this. Phenylketonuria, or PKU, is a rare inherited genetic disorder. The incidence is only about 20,000 cases per year in the United States, and both male and female suffer equally from PKU. Since the 1960s in the United States and other developed countries, routine screening is done at birth by doing a heel prick test in order to early diagnose and treat infants with the condition. Before a baby leaves the hospital and after having some meals, at least 24 hours must have also been passed. A heel prick is done and a few drops of blood collected on a special paper is sent to the lab. Symptoms will not be immediately displayed at birth, but will usually develop within a few weeks as phenylalanine accumulates. In an untreated infant, symptoms can include vomiting, irritability, an eczema-like rash, and a musty odor to the breath, skin, and urine. Some may have signs of nervous system function problems, such as increased muscle tone and more active muscle tendon reflexes. Another key symptom for this condition is that most people affected are fair-skinned and blue-eyed. The skin is excessively sensitive to light and susceptible to eczema. This is because phenylalanine is also involved in the production of melanin, which is responsible for hair pigment and skin tone. The genetic mutation affects the phenylalanine hydroxylase, or PAH, gene, which results in the body not being able to produce enough PAH enzyme to break down phenylalanine. The disorder is inherited as an autosomal recessive trait. This means that the parents of a person affected with PKU each carry one copy of the mutated gene, but the parents themselves do not display any of the signs and symptoms of the condition. The parents each pass on a copy of the mutated gene to their offspring. There is a chance, 1 out of 4, that the offspring will have 2 mutated copies of the gene and therefore develop the condition. In PKU, the body cannot metabolize part of an amino acid called phenylalanine. This is again because of the genetic inability to produce PAH enzyme to break down phenylalanine. Phenylalanine is an essential amino acid, a building block of proteins that is obtained through diet. It is found in all proteins and some artificial sweeteners. Phenylalanine hydroxylase, or PAH, is the enzyme that is missing, and phenylalanine is the substrate that is continually accumulating. In this slide, we can see a visual diagram of the lock and key analogy. In this analogy, the lock is the enzyme and the key is the substrate. There is only one key that will fit the lock. A correct fit will unlock the reaction. In the case of phenylalanine metabolism, in a quote-unquote normal person, some phenylalanine is used for building proteins. The rest is broken down by PAH enzyme to be converted into tyrosine. Tyrosine is a precursor to thyroid hormones, which are necessary for growth and development. In a person who suffers from phenylketonuria, there is no enzyme to facilitate this breakdown and conversion, and the substrate builds up to toxic levels in the blood. Left untreated for a prolonged period, this can cause brain damage, mental retardation, microcephaly, seizures, and developmental delays. To prevent onset of adverse symptoms, patient must adhere to a low phenylalanine diet. Keys to this diet include maintaining the blood level of phenylalanine between 2 and 10 milligrams per deciliter. Some phenylalanine is needed for normal growth. It is recommended to keep a diet that has some phenylalanine, but in much lower amounts than normal. High protein foods such as meat, fish, poultry, eggs, cheese, milk, dried beans, and peas are avoided. Measured amounts of carbs, fruits, and vegetables, along with protein substitute, are usually recommended. This is a nice aid here. Patients are advised to stay as close to the bullseye as possible to avoid foods that are on the outer areas of the bullseye. Lifelong dietary restrictions are recommended. Although some people with mild PKU come off the diet as adults, but will need to return if symptoms arise. Symptoms to look out for in their case would be lower IQ or neurological symptoms. Phenylalanine-free formulas like these here are available for all ages. Some examples are shown on this slide. Daily tablets and formula provide supplementation. All ages are recommended to take one form of supplement. Thankfully, with routine screening, following dietary restrictions, and ever-growing awareness, children born with PKU today can grow to live a normal life. I hope you have enjoyed learning about phenylketonuria today. Thank you.